Alright, hello everybody, welcome to our Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn for Newcomers playthrough. My name is Jokester1801 and let's get started. So today's a really exciting day because today we start the endgame. So we just finished part 4 chapter 5 last time, and so now we are on the last 5 battles of the game, which comprise the endgame. So let's get our story recap here from our good friend the narrator.
Evade their persistent foes, finally arriving in Cien, the capital of Benyon, the Tower of Guidance. According to the creed of the goddess, which has been taught across the continent by Benyon, this is where the goddess Ashura will appear during times of great crisis to lead the people to safety. As even the smallest child in Benyon knows, the tower is sacred and mere mortals may not enter. With the world edging toward catastrophe, the tower glows like a pillar of pure light, as though to pierce the very heavens.
It's so cool. What a cool world. What a cool concept. I love this part. Endgame. Rebirth. Let's go. Ooh, it's so bright. So washed out with my original Wii not liking to convert to HDMI. That must be the Tower of Guidance. It's so bright I can hardly bear to look at it. Me too, Titania. What's happening in there? Let's hurry, Ike. I can't imagine that the glowing is a good omen. We're running out of time. The city gate is shut. I guess we'll have to force it to get to the tower. Ah, you guys made it! Scrimir, I didn't realize your group had already arrived. Yes, we've been here for quite some time. I've been itching to go inside and see what the bad guys have waiting for us. Scrimir listened to reason, however, and agreed to wait here with us. Wow, look at that, Scrimir. I'm proud of you. We know nothing about the numbers or strength of the enemy. It seemed safest to wait here for the rest of you to show up. We pitched tents outside the gate. Hello, Micaiah. Any word from Yune? She came back to me a number of times during our trip, but nothing for the past few days. I see. Do we know where Tavarn and Alencia's group is? No word yet, no. Ike, it's a waste for us to just sit around waiting. Why don't you and I have a look inside? Well, I guess that question's going to be answered for us. Wait, what's happening? Get ready for an attack, people. Oh, there's Tavarn and Racin. Kanagus, what are you doing here? I love Kanagus' sprite with the, like, fur-lined cape, basically. I don't know a better word for that. It just looks so good. He's the red hair with the cape. Super cool. In an occurrence I'm told is increasingly common, we heard a voice in our dreams and followed it here. And Lord Tabarn, I should have guessed your group would beat everyone here. We joined up with King Kanagas and mopped up the Disciples of Order around the capital. The only people left within the city are the ones who have been petrified. Man, that would have been such a cool fight to participate in. I understand why they didn't do it, but it would have been so cool to have like a fight in the city of Begnion where you have like your combined forces and you just pick from that. Good. I like air breathers with initiative. Yune, here to give us our next instructions? Yes, good guess. Everyone gather around. You all need to hear this. Good job, everyone. All three teams got here and a little faster than I thought you would. While you were traveling, I went around recruiting more help, including King Kanagas here. Unfortunately, it looks like Ashura had the same idea. By the time I made my way to Goldoa, there was no one there. What do you mean? Where were they? If you're saying what I think you're saying, then we could have a very big problem. Lots of very big problems. I don't know for sure, Tabarn. There aren't a whole lot of dragons altogether, but it looks like every one of them joined Ashura. Some people pronounce it Ashera, some people pronounce it Ashura. I think the narrator said Ashura, so it's all good. How could this be? I haven't seen them anywhere else on Tellius, so they must already be inside the tower. Let's camp for the night before walking into Ashura's own home. Alright, so here we have our preps, and we have literally every unit. Importantly, we have some new units. So we have Enna. I kind of talked about Anna in Part 3 Endgame. To sum up, Anna has an incredibly good skill called Blood Tide that increases strength and skill by 5. Super good. Boon is also situationally useful. She has horrible damage output because she's a red dragon, and so she has 20 strength when transformed, and then add the 13 might of her breath, and she only has 33 attack. Now, if she was a white dragon, she would be amazing, because white dragons use magic instead of strength for their modifier breath thing. Um, and so she would have like 43 magic attack, which would be amazing. But unfortunately, she doesn't. She's a red dragon, and so for that, she's not super good for combat, but she's incredibly good because of Blood Tide. Very useful. Then we have Kurthnaga. Kurthnaga is a dragon prince, black dragon. He has like pretty good strength, defense, and res at 30 when transformed. Unfortunately, his skill and speed are pretty garbo, and they stay that way. He does have Night Tide, which is less useful than Blood Tide, and then the last one is White Tide, where Night Tide increases defense and resistance by 5. Still somewhat useful, especially situationally, but not super useful. So yeah, they're not great. They're not they're not great units. Enna, I argue, is like pretty helpful because of Blood Tide. Kurthnaga is just like not that great. Then you have Kanagas. This guy is a monster. He has 44 strength when transformed, plus another 22 might. So he has 66 attack. Monstrous. And then on top of that, he has 44 defense and 34 speed. I mean, this guy's a tank and a half. Kanagas is so good. And then he also comes with Form Shift and the Lion Mastery skill, which is just insta-kill, basically. Yeah, so Kanagas is just seriously so incredibly strong. And this is one of the key things that's really nice about this game. So we're about to enter the Tower of Guidance. Now, when you go to the Tower of Guidance, you get to pick 10 units, plus I think it's 6 forced units, plus 1 for a Heron. And you pick 10 units of your choosing to take with you into the tower. And then you don't get to, like, those are your units that you use, those 17 units that 10 of them you pick, and then 7 of them are forced. And man, what's really nice about this game is that if all of your units turned out really bad, well, you always have Kanagas, you always have Tabarn, you always have Naysala, and then you also have Gifka. Gifka is basically just as strong as Kanagas. He's slightly weaker in strength and defense and has 1 more speed than him and 1 more res. The key difference is that Gifka does not have Form Shift, so you do have to use the Laguz gem if you want to have him maintain his animal form the entire battle. So that's a really key thing with that. So yeah, I mean, like, if all of your units turned out horrible, all else fails, you have Kanagas, Gifka, Naysala, and Tabarn. And those 4 units, oh, and Nyla, those 5 units could probably easily take you through Endgame, because they're just so strong. But anyway, so we do have them. We're actually not going to take either of them into the tower, just because I think they're so overwhelmingly strong that they make it a little unfair. Plus, we've raised up units this whole playthrough, why would we not use them, you know? Alright, so the other key thing is we are going to have to do a lot of item management. Now, this is not the most exciting thing to watch, and so I'll probably jump cut this a little bit, where I go through and just sell items and do some management. And then once we come back, we'll talk about some other things. We did item management. So, I mean, we did quote-unquote item management. Basically, we sold a whole bunch of stuff. So now our convoy, we have 216, which is really nice. And now we could, like, give people what we want. So, like I said before, you have... After this, we're going to take a small group of people into the Tower of Guidance. Namely, there's 17 units that go into the Tower of Guidance. 6 of them are force deployed, 1 of them is a Heron, and then you get to pick the other 10 units. Now, why is this important? The important thing is, within that, you can't actually manage skills without, after you pick your 10 units. It's very unfortunate, it's very obnoxious, but that's how they decided to do it. And so your chance to manage skills are here. Your chance is here to manage skills. So this is your chance to choose any skills you want to take off of people, choose any skills you want to put on people before the Tower of Guidance. Now, within the Tower of Guidance, you do get the opportunity to manage skills again, so this isn't like the end-all be-all, but this is your last chance to take off any skills of the units that you aren't going to take with you into the tower. Now, if you don't know anything about the skills, that's perfectly fine. The biggest ones you definitely want to take off of people you're not going to take is Nihil and Parity. And we'll see why in the final chapter. Not even in the final chapter. Starting in Endgame 3 and then Endgame 4 and 5, we'll see why these skills are just so important. So, I decided that despite Nolan having 3 more speed than Boyd, we're not going to take him into the tower because we have a speed wing that we can give Boyd. And so Boyd has 3 more strength than Nolan. If he has the speed wing, he only has 1 less speed. And then the biggest factor for me was that Boyd has 10 more defense. And that makes Boyd way sturdier than Nolan. And so that's why we're going to take Boyd instead of Nolan. In terms of people, like, we're not going to take Edward because we're going to take Mia, and I think she's better than him. We're not going to take Laura, of course, because we have Micaiah and Soren. It's hard for me to say, like, okay, these are the 10 units we're going to take because it's just hard to visualize right now. But the 10 units we're going to take Har and Jill, of course. We're going to take Leonardo because I trained up all of these Dawn Brigade members, and Leonardo can actually, I mean, he has pretty good stats, and I think it's funny, first of all, and second of all, he'll actually be able to contribute a good amount, especially with his Lugnasada. So, we're going to take Leonardo. We're also going to take Soren. Then we're going to also take Shinon, Boyd, Mia, Gatry, Aaron, and Nefany. So those are the 10 we're going to take. And so as such, we're going to want to take off the skills from everyone else. Just because, like, these are things that we can sell to get more money, or we can use them on other people. Like, we can take skills that were on some people and put them on the 10 that we're going to take with us. And that can be pretty helpful as well. So we're just going to go ahead and take off these skills. And we'll probably speed through this part as well. So now we have a ton of skills in our convoy, and we can actually sell a good amount of them. Like, for example, these ones that are only good for Lagoos, and since we're not taking any Lagoos besides the Heron, we can sell these. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and just sell some skills that probably just not going to use or that we don't think are super helpful. Like, we're not going to fight any beasts or birds in the tower, so we're good there. I don't really like Gamble. Alright, so I think besides that, we're pretty much good. Alright, so now what we're going to do is just make sure everyone doesn't have any inventory. I mean, those people that we're not taking, make sure they don't have any inventory. Just because I think it's easier to deal with this now. And then after that, what we're going to do is we're actually going to just go ahead and leave the base after we read the info conversation. Because then we can pick our 10 units and it'll be easier to like deal with their weapons and things like that when we can pick them and they're all in one place. Alright, so let's read this info conversation. So here we go, we got another new unit coming up. We're almost there. Tomorrow we head to the tower. Do not worry, Your Majesty, we will be right beside you. Though long tested by the trials of the goddess Ashera, we shall overcome, and our mission will be laid to rest. Yes, what we do now, we do not only for the people of Crimea, but for all the people of Tellius. Yes, we shall succeed. You are a courageous queen indeed. Who said that? Uncle Renning, are you all right now? Don't die, look it. I stand before you in full health, thanks to your efforts, of course. Wonderful, I'm so relieved, Uncle. Duke Renning. Lucia, you have my gratitude for looking after Alencia so diligently. Bastion, Geoffrey, everyone, you have my sincere thanks. Please, Duke Renning, it is our joy to serve Her Majesty. Our loyalty extends beyond the Queen. Please do not forget that. Thank you. I appreciate your concern, especially yours, Bastion. I stand by you, my lord. You have ever been my most loyal and clever confidant. Was it possible for you to acquire the things I desired? Indeed, my lord, for you to whom I own my mastery of disciplines esoteric and arcane, no task is too difficult. Your sword, your armor, and your faithful steed stand ready, that the battlefield shall know your valor once more. You haven't changed one bit, Bastion, always the clever one. Your praise is too much, my lord. Uncle, you intend to join the fight? Please, you mustn't push yourself too hard. My, how things have changed. Am I to take orders from my niece on what battles I am allowed to fight in? I am not a princess to be coddled and kept safe behind the vanguard, Alencia. I am a knight of Crimea, and I will be one until I die. As long as I live, as long as I am able to walk, and as long as I draw breath, I shall fight. It is my duty. I understand. Swear to me, then. Swear that you won't die, that you won't ever leave me alone. I swear to you that I will never leave you behind. I swear it upon my pride as a knight and upon my love for my country. Now, Your Majesty, please grant me the honor of protecting you in battle. Oh, Uncle, you may have to compete for that role, I think. Duke Renning, I will not give up my place as the commander of the Royal Knights, even to you. Let's take it outside, then. Perhaps I'll remind you why you have never won a match against me. As you wish, Duke Renning. I will also show you that I have spent 3 years preparing solely to defend the Queen from harm. I have made it my life. Uncle? And Geoffrey, you too? Bastion, do something. Truly, I shall have to. After all, a match between such stalwart warriors needs to be judged. I believe I shall volunteer my services. Excuse me. Bastion's basically like, yeah, they need a judge, so I'll go do that. Bastion? Oh, Your Majesty, let them be. Lucia, are you siding with them too? Doesn't all of this remind you of a scene in Melior from years ago? Tomorrow is full of uncertainty. We may live and we may die. Yet here we are enjoying a little scene of high drama from glory-filled past. I'm so glad of it. That's true. It's like a weight has been lifted off my chest. Why don't we follow them? We should enjoy our final night together. Of course, Your Majesty. So, the reason that's a 3-star info conversation is because we just got a new unit. We got Renning. Now, honestly, Renning comes as level 16 Golden Knight. He has SS Sword and 8 Axe, which is not the best because axes are better than swords, but he can use pretty much every axe except the best one, so that's nice. Importantly, he does actually have pretty good stats. 31 strength, 29 speed, and 27 defense aren't horrible. They're not amazing, but they're not horrible. I mean, like, for comparison, not that I think you have to compare people of the same class, but if we look at Titania, who is a level 9 Gold Knight, Titania has 1 more speed, 2 more strength, 2 less defense. Like, they're actually very comparable. Except Titania has SS Axe, and she has support. So, yeah, I mean, Renning's also another unit that if all of your units turned out horrible, he actually can do fairly well in endgame. He's not going to double too many people. He's not going to be like your best unit ever, but he's good enough that he can definitely help out. We're not going to use him though. Alright, we got 2 more info conversations. Speaking of the SS Axe, here we go. Ike, I have something to give you. Hey, it's called Irvan, if I remember correctly. I borrowed it from your father's grave. Why? Honestly, I have no idea, but I felt a sudden urge to visit Grail's grave on the morning of our journey. When I told Gifka my idea for a little side trip, he said he thought the same thing. I believe we were guided to your father's grave by a divine message from the goddess. When I saw your father's axe, I was convinced that I had to take it to you. I felt that's what your father would have wanted. Maybe he and my mother are looking over us from somewhere else. Alright, it's my father's, so it's only right that I take it. Woohoo, the SS axe. Volk? Over here. Looking for you is like trying to find spilled ink at night. It's part of the job. Anyways, you've grown quite a bit since the last time I saw you. Everyone loves telling me that. You're starting to look like Grail. That might be true too. He is my dad. I didn't expect to see you here. Did someone from this camp hire you? Sure did. I see. It's good to have you on our side under any circumstances. Why did you call me over? I have to return something to you. What the? What's all this money for? It's the 50,000 gold you paid me the last time around. Well, minus my pay, expenses, and that sort of thing, of course. Even so, there's a lot here. Well, the contract ended sooner than expected, I guess. You did a lot for us back then. I didn't even get a chance to thank you. It was a job. There's no need to thank me. I know, but if you hadn't told me the story of my father, I would never have known about his past. So thanks, Volk. Yeah. So, anyhow, you have your money back. See you later. Did he really just get embarrassed because I thanked him? What a weird guy. Hey, 20,000 gold. Let's go. This info conversation with Stefan is really cool. The dragons is also pretty cool. So yeah, we just got 20k. We also got Urbane, which is the most powerful axe in the game, 22 might. Unfortunately, it's only 1 range, but it's still super strong, so that's nice. So yeah, now that we've done the info conversation stuff, we're going to go ahead and save, and then we're going to... Oh, the last thing that we're going to do is bonus experience Micaiah. So this is the last chance you have to grow Micaiah's level before she promotes. And since she capped out magic skill, luck, defense, and res, she has to get HP, strength, speed for these 4 levels. And that's going to be really, really nice. So we're going to go ahead and give her all 4 of those levels so that she gets +4 speed. Very exciting. Let's go. Micaiah actually having some speed for once. Didn't quite cap it. Didn't quite cap strength either, but actually not too bad. Alright, so besides that, now we can save, and we should be able to go forward. So we're going to see some story stuff, and then we're going to have even more preparations. So, looking forward to that, I guess. Oh no! Yune, what is it? What's happening? Uh-oh. This isn't good. These soldiers, we've killed them already. They've been reborn in flesh, but not spirit. Brought back from the dead. A miracle of the goddess. A blasphemy, you mean? How could the goddess of order violate the most fundamental natural law? Philosophy later, everyone. They're about to attack. Yeah, not good. Also, really, really disgusting, honestly. Are you alright? Those dead soldiers really got to you, didn't they? We can't win. All we do is kill the flesh, but she brings the flesh back. We need more time. No, there is no more time. Everyone else will be turned to stone, and I will be lonely forever. There's nothing more that I can do. I failed. I failed. Yune, get a hold of yourself. Ouch! My ears. What was that for, you big bully? Who do you think I am? Yune, the goddess of chaos, the warm-hearted being whose courage and love gives us a will to go on. Ike, thank you. As things stand, we can't bring everyone into the tower. We'll need support here to hold this position. But at the very least, how many are we going to need inside? They'll have much stronger forces inside the tower, not to mention Ashera herself. We'll send in our best 11. Oh, and we'll want the 2 dragons and 1 from the Heron tribe. And the Empress. Plus, it wouldn't hurt to have Sov. Understood. If that's everyone, I'll gather them together. And once we get inside, you can leave most of the fighting to Micaiah. Now that's like the biggest lie Yune has said this whole entire time. But we do get Micaiah's promotion, which is exciting. You might even have the opportunity to hear my cat. Now, she gets plus 5 strength and defense, which is nice. But she only gets plus 2 speed, and I've always wondered why that is. Something like this should work. Because, like, I think she has a 30% speed growth, so it's more likely than not that she's not going to be very fast. And so it would have been nice if she had gotten, you know, some speed. We're ready. Alright, so now here's our big prep screen. Now important, you can't like manage skills. You can manage everything else, you can shop, forge, items, all of that, but you can't manage skills. So that's why I say do it beforehand. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to pick our units. So like I said, you get to pick 10 because you have 6 force deployed. Like Micaiah, Sov, Sanaki, Kurthnaga, and And then you can pick any 10 from the remaining like 60 somewhat units you have or whatever. And then at the end you're going to pick one of the 3 Herons. We're going to pick Raphael because I think Raphael is pretty fun. I like Raisin a lot too because he can dance and then move away. But we're going to go for Raphael and see how that goes. Now importantly, I already kind of picked the 10 units that I want to take with me. Just to save us a little bit of time. So as I was saying, we're going to take a lot of Grail mercenaries there. And then Aaron and Nephany, and there we go. So here's our 10 that I think will be good for us. So we got Har and Jill, super strong units. We're actually going to give Har a speed wing, and we're going to give Void a speed wing, and then that should patch up their speed issues, which should be pretty nice. Leonardo, because I think it's funny to take a unit from the Dawn Brigade. We did end up training Edward, Nolan, Leo, Aaron, and Jill from the Dawn Brigade, and they all turned out like not that bad. But we're going to take Leonardo because I think he'll put in a good amount of work. Soren, of course. Now, we did put in a good amount of work to raising Khalil, and Khalil is like slightly better than Soren in my opinion at this point, except for the A staffs. However, Soren does have this nice support with Ike with that plus 2 attack and 30 avoid, and because of that, I think Soren's going to be more useful. We're going to bring Shinon because I think Shinon's pretty good, and he has an A support with Gatry to get that plus 3 defense, which is really nice. We're going to bring Gatry just because he's a really good tank. And Boyd, because we're going to give him the speed wing, and then he'll be pretty bomb, and then he also has that support with Mia, which is super nice as well. And of course Mia, because she's just been so good this whole time. And then Aaron and Nephany, they're both really, really good. Aaron's a really good tank with that 31 defense and 31 speed. And Nephany is just solid overall as well. So that's the rationale for our team there. So we're going to go ahead and like give them some items. Micaiah basically is just going to be our healer for the most part. A restore staff is incredibly useful on her, so definitely bring that. We don't have to like completely format their items right now because we do get the chance to do that before the battle starts. But I'm going to go ahead and just give them some items now, just so I can have an idea of what items everyone needs. Alright, cool. So the other thing we're also going to do is do some forging, which should be pretty nice. And that'll help us with like getting some items that, or just getting some extra attack bonuses. And then we're going to go ahead and give the speed wing to Har. 29 speed is going to be a good, nice benchmark for him. Alright, give her that. I'm going to give her Irvain because That'll be nice. And then Leo, let me give him a silencer and then the arbalist instead of this crossbow. I don't anticipate using crossbows very much, but it could be nice. Gatry, the hammer is going to be really, really helpful actually, for this battle specifically. And then I want to give him Volinary. There we go, Shinon. We'll give him a silver bow and a steel bow, and then trade out the crossbow for the Akari. Soren, we definitely want him to have a recover, physic, and restore staves. Those would be nice. We do have the Hamurn. I don't know if I mentioned what this does, but it does return any weapon or staff to maximum durability. So, like, it could make the silencer back up to 50 durability, or the Brave Axe. You know, just like whatever weapon that we want to use it on, we can. Or staff, or things like that. We don't need that right now, but it could be useful at some point. Yeah, my cat totally just like attacked me in the neck a little bit as he was climbing on top of my chair. I'm okay though. Alright, anyway, we're just kind of emptying out the convoy a little bit here. We'll probably redo some of this weapon stuff later. Really, the reason I'm doing it is because it's helpful for me to see how many weapons like I actually need. So now that like pretty much everyone's fully outfitted, I can kind of see like, oh, I need more of this weapon or more of this weapon, and that can be really helpful. Cool. Alright, I think we're pretty much outfitted, so that's good. So it doesn't super matter. So let's check the bargain shop. Nothing too crazy here. The Worm Slayer can be nice, so we're gonna go ahead and buy one just in case. And then you can buy physics, which is pretty nice. We're gonna buy 3 of them. We have 122,000 gold, which is awesome. We are going to actually buy 2 ward staves as well. I don't know that we needed 2. 1 probably would have been sufficient. But I always like to overbuy because I just do, I guess. Ike's just going to use Ragneil, honestly. So that should be good. Anyway. And then in terms of supports, we are doing pretty good. Leonardo could, if he could support with Aaron, or if Aaron could support with Nephany yet, that would be nice. Let's go. 1 defense, 3 hit, 5 avoid. Alright, Sigrun, you and Tanith can have your A support. Honestly, pretty good, but anyway. Leo, like, could support with Sanaki, that works. Get an attack and a defense, that's pretty nice. Besides that, everyone's kind of, like, supported with everyone. It's kind of nice. Alright, cool. I don't think we have any Bex we want to give people. Yeah, I think we're good with that. Cool. Now, the big thing that we're going to do then is we are going to look at the armory and buy anything that we need to. I think we're actually pretty good. I'm going to buy another silver Great Lance. Probably give that to Gatry. We have some steel Great Lances, so we're good there. I think we're good on axes. Yeah, so I think we're actually doing pretty good in terms of items. You might have noticed that I sold all the dark tomes. That's dark magic tomes. That's because we're not going to use Pelias. Now, the real meat and potatoes of this preparations is going to be forging stuff. So one thing I really like to do is forge a whole bunch of javelins and hand axes that have capped might and hit. Could do crit, but like it's not super helpful. Like, but it's pretty cheap. So to fully cap it out, it's only 5,000 gold. We could make 10 of these for 50,000. Now, if you just do max might and hit, I mean that's only like 3,600. So we're just gonna go ahead, make it a random color, and then importantly we have 10 coins, so we're gonna just use some of those on these, and yeah, look, we just got +1 might. That's kind of nice. And then we're just gonna go ahead and make like probably 10 of each. At least 6 of each. Like 6 hand axes and 6 javelins. Oh, the vine, what a shame. And the reason we're gonna do that is because this way our units can have stronger hand axes and javelins, and they're gonna be really useful for like the whole tower. Oh, let's go. +2 might. That's nice. Alright, what is this? Like our 4th one? I'm really just making them random colors. Yeah, I think this is the 4th, because we had 10 coins starting out. Let's go. +1 might. Very nice. We're getting pretty lucky with these cards, because we've been getting like +1 might and stuff. That's pretty nice. And a lot of the times we've had like a full deck of cards, which means we'll at least get something. +20 hit. Dang, that's pretty nice. That's the never miss javelin right there. Alright, so we've made 5 of them. So let's make one more, and then we can go make some hand axes. +10 hit. Cool. Alright. Oh, come back. We're going to make some hand axes here. And then they're a very similar price. And the nice thing about hand axes is that javelins can go up to 12 might. Hand axes can go up to 14. And that's super nice. Oh, +20 hit again? Dang, that's the never miss hand axe. Another hit +10? We'll take it. Alright, just cruising right along, making a whole bunch of hand axes. Why wouldn't we make a pink one? So, like, the swords and axes give you might, and then the feathers give you crit. Oh, 16 might hand axe. Let's go. That's so good. I mean, that's almost as much might as Ragnil, just as like a frame of reference. The ravens give you coins, I think. Yeah, they give you coins. Oh, now we're out of coins. Sad. So now we can't just like have a random chance of boosting our hand axe stats, but that's okay. Alright, let's see how many we have. And importantly, how many do we have that we can like give people, right? So like, for example, if we look at Gatry, he could probably benefit from a hand axe. And then Boyd could benefit from a forged hand axe. And then Aaron could benefit from a forged javelin. And Nephany could also benefit from a forged javelin. And then Har and Jill, I'm just going to give them hand axes because hand axes are stronger. So now that we've done that, I kind of want to make, we'll make 2 more hand axes. I think we have enough javelins. Let me actually see how many javelins we have. We have 4 forged javelins and like 1,000 non-forged ones. In fact, I'm going to sell some of those non-forged ones because we really don't need that many. Cool. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cool. That should be enough. So yeah, we'll make like 3 more hand axes, and then we should be good with that. That way we have more than enough. Another key thing with the tower is that you don't have access to the shop. So definitely do all your shopping beforehand. Alright, so there's 2 and 3. Cool. Alright, so now that we've made those, and it looks like we do have, like, plenty of weapons for the tower. So we're doing really good with that. Importantly, that means that we can probably, honestly, sell some more stuff, because forging stuff is always nice. So like some of these, like a heal staff we're not going to use, some of these steel swords that we're not going to use, steel lances that we're not going to use, steel axes we're not going to use. I have the compulsive like desire to keep one of everything just in case, so we'll do that. But now we're going to forge a silver lance and a silver axe, maybe multiple, just because it can be really helpful to have that extra strength. And I mean, since we won't be able to use our money after this, we might as well try to use it as much as possible. Alright, so we forged those. We could forge a silver bow for 20 might and 100 hit. That's pretty nice, actually. Yeah, let's go for that. We'll make it blue for Leonardo and give it to him. Is it better than the silencer? Yeah, like, way better. Cool. Actually, that'll probably go for Shinon, because Leonardo has the Lube Nagasa. Should we make another silver axe? We can make another silver lance. Who needs stuff? Let's see. So, like, we could give Jill, or we could give Har the forged silver axe we made, or let's make, okay, cool. We'll give Har one, and then we can make one for Boyd, and then that should be good enough. Because, like, Mia has the Vague Kadi. Aaron could benefit from a forged silver lance. And so could Nephany, so we could do something like that. Yeah, let's give this silver bow to Shinon. Because Leonardo has the Lube Nagasa, and he has, like, the silencer and stuff, so I think he'll benefit, like, Shinon will benefit more. Let's make a silver axe for Boyd. I think that'll be helpful. If I do it without crit, then, and I'm going to make it green for Boyd, then I could probably make a silver lance for Aaron, and then we'll be good to go on both sides. Oh, we're like 50 gold short? Okay, wait, let's go sell just one thing. Like, perfect. Alright, now we can do it. Perfect. And we'll make it black for Aaron. Alright, there we go. 265 gold left. Our units should be outfitted really well. So yeah, I think with that, we should be good to go. So we're going to go ahead and save here. And we're going to go to the battle. So this video is clearly going to be like mostly preps. And then we'll just go ahead and start the battle next video. Alright, everyone's almost ready. Who would you like to bring from the Heron Tribe? We're going to go ahead and bring Raphael, because Raphael can be really, really helpful for some strategies and stuff. Raphael, would you join us? Of course, I am honored. Alright, Tower of Guidance, here we come. It's so quiet. Is the goddess here? Uh-huh, she's at the top. Be careful, everyone. This tower is Ashera's home territory. She's certain to have her most powerful troops waiting for us up ahead. We must proceed with the utmost caution. Hmm? Oh, man. So this is New Game Plus, right?
So, you were companion to the very first Empress Altina.
That means we get a lot of these
I'm
voiced
honored
over
you have chosen
memories.
to speak with me.
You would trust in the word of a stranger?
can see inside you. I know you cannot speak lies.
Is it possible? Do you share some aspect of my power?
I do, as did my mother. Generation after generation, each apostle has been blessed to hear the voice of the goddess. We know of impending disasters, how crops will fare. All revelations originally intended for you.
The children of my union with Altina. I had no idea.
Please, look at this.
That mark.
All of the apostles have borne this brand. It is our greatest secret. The senators must never know. Because of this brand, I thought that I had been born of some great sin. It plagued me always. Guilt tore at me every day as I hid my mark from my people, deceiving them constantly about my true nature.
Oh, child, how can I apologize to you?
And yet now that I've met you, I understand. There is no shame in my heritage. None at all. I will not live in hiding. I will reveal to the world that I am one of the branded. They must see there is no shame in who I am.
No, you mustn't. You don't understand the danger you will be placing yourself in.
Oh, but I do. The senators will do their utmost to rally the people against me, as they did when I freed the Lagoons from slavery. But I will not be deterred. If I am to lead this nation, I cannot allow it to be corrupted by prejudice and hatred. I can put the life the goddess has given me to no greater good than this.
Such determination. Your eyes, they very much resemble Altina's.
I will stand before my people and proudly proclaim the truth. And then I will guide them to a just and honest future. This is my promise to you.
Thank you. Your strength of will, the truth that guides your life. You have shown me the way back to myself. I shall return to Goldoa and tell my friends of you and your actions. I will tell them that Laguz and Bjork may once again live together in peace. I will tell them that there is hope.
Thank you, Father of my mothers. I strive to be worthy of the gift of life you have granted me.
I really, really like those memory scenes. I think they're really cool. Spoiler, we don't actually know that they're memories yet, but clearly they are. And throughout the whole Tower of Guidance, we'll go through them. I'm not gonna provide commentary or voice over them because I think the voice actors did a phenomenal job with them, and they're really cool for fleshing out the history of Tellius. So yeah, it's pretty cool. What was that? Was it someone's memory? What is it? Sorry. Oh, I don't know. Don't worry, it was nothing. Alright then, our path leads through that door there. And here we go. Whoa! I really don't remember what voice I did for Lacane. I'm so sorry. Well, I feel like it was like a haughty, but kind of buffoon voice. What a surprise seeing you here! Frankly, I'm amazed that you, of all people, would dare set foot inside the most holy Tower of Guidance. Lacane, we've been looking for you for a long time. You bound Dane to your awful pact, hounded noble King Peleus, and stole countless lives in your appalling war. You are beyond redemption. Beyond redemption? My, that does sound dreadful. Whatever will you do with me? Oh, and let me remind you the blood pact is still in effect. You will do well to remember that. I think you know what will happen to the people of Dane if you should dare oppose me. Enough. We fear your threats no longer. No more will we bow to your every whim. Now that we've found you, we will exact justice upon you, then destroy the Blood Pact itself, ending its power over us. So you figured it out, did you? It matters not. This changes nothing. Do you hear me? Here is the scroll for which you've been searching so diligently, right here in my hands. Ah, and yet none of you will ever lay one grimy little finger upon it. I have been blessed by the goddess herself. Her protection will not allow you fleas to even approach me. Lacane seized this travesty of virtue at once. What have we here? Oh yes, the apostle. Excuse me, child, but I had completely forgotten you were here. Since you've deigned to grace us with your exalted presence, dear apostle, let me share a bedtime story with you. The year was 640 Bagnion era. The empire had been without an apostle for 15 long years. The senators were being constantly harassed with complaints from the people. There had been nothing like it in history. The voices calling for young Tsunaki to be crowned grew louder every day. You had just turned 5 years old when the Senate welcomed you to the throne as the new apostle. Ah, but my young mistress Tsunaki, what a difficult child you were. You threw tantrums, you screamed and cried constantly. Your conduct was hardly befitting an Empress of Bagnion. Everyone was at a loss. You wouldn't even stop mewling and crying during official proceedings. But then along came our youngest senator ever, Sephiran, Duke of Persis. When he took you in his arms, you immediately stopped crying. You even smiled. We had to take advantage of this obvious miracle. In an unprecedented move by the senators, we elevated Sephiran to Prime Minister, keeping him serving as close to you as possible. This plan, radical as it was, proved far more effective than we dared dream. A young, handsome Prime Minister and an adorable moppet of an apostle brought the people's support to incredible new heights. Apparently, the common citizenry is gullible enough to blindly follow any leader who is sufficiently attractive, unlike Lacane. Enamored as they were, no one ever seemed to care whether or not you could hear the voice of the goddess. With the new apostle and prime minister, the political landscape became unrecognizable. Even in the face of overtly unreasonable legislation, the two of you would stand on the balcony. A smile and a wave later, the people would cheer and go on with their happy lives. It was too good to be true, however. Both of you were only meant to be puppets. Each year you interfered with our government more and more, imposing your soft-hearted ideals over our sovereign rights. Were such trivialities as Lagoo's slavery and the Dane occupation worth making issues of? The pair of you were becoming an increasingly bothersome thorn in our side. And then this war against the Lagoo's forces? You went so far as to expose our previous indiscretions and demand reparations for the subhumans. This was unforgivable. Clearly, you both had to be removed. Sephiran would be falsely accused and jailed, necessitating his removal from office. The apostle would suffer from a sudden illness and be excused from official proceedings, or so we intended. And somehow, despite the extraordinary plans of great men, here you are standing before my very eyes. If Sephiran and I hadn't been freed, you were just waiting for your chance to kill us, just as you killed my grandmother. Out of respect for the imminently deceased, I'll be completely honest. Yes, you assumed correctly. Your assassination and the plot to once again frame the Serenus Herons for it was entirely my idea. Yes, I thought as much. Impressive, Tsunaki. When you were first crowned, you would have cried your little eyes out. You've grown. Slightly. Lacane, Duke of Gatos, Before the 37th Empress of Begnion, prepare to be judged. An amusing game, child, truly, but you must know that there is nothing you can do against me. I am the greatest servant of the all-knowing, almighty Ashura. I am her chosen champion. And you, Sanaki, are pathetic.